Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Action Podcast, the best podcast in the world. Today we have a special guest, Macuacua. It's good to have you, man.
Thank you so much, Action Podcast, for the invitation. Yeah, let's do this.
How are you feeling?
Feeling quite good, confident as always.
Okay. Okay, so let's get straight into it. When I'm on your Instagram, right? I mean, when I'm on Charity Mac Instagrams and all the other businesses you have like Mac Tech, I always see something on the bio. It says powered by Mac Corporation.
Exactly.
So I was curious, what exactly is Mac Corporation?
Okay, so Mac Corporation. Honestly speaking, for those who know me for a very long time, you know, my old friends from like high school, they've been listening and seeing Mac Corporation grow over the past few years. So it really started in like 2018, I guess. I was like in grade 8. It started there when it was just me reselling products. So I was basically doing drop shipping. I just did not have like an official online website. So I would like buy products from Amazon, buy products from AliExpress and all these different websites, and I'd resell them at my own price and publish them in those like WhatsApp groups and whatsoever. So that's how it started. My first clients were my friends, my close friends, my classmates, and so shout out to them. Gerson, shout out to you. Leslie, and all the people that bought with me, Mario. So those were my first clients. If you noticed, and the first account, it still exists. If you type Mac Corporation and you see like the first account still exists. If you go there, what you see, it's like watches, all type of accessories and technology. That's the products I started selling. That's what I started with.
So there are two separate Mac Corporation accounts.
Yes. So the first one, I definitely like, I started it, and then I lost the account, and I like for a very like long period of time I stopped doing business to focus on school. So now that I came back into business, I couldn't go back to my old account, so I started a new account. But if you pay attention, the logo is still the same, and even the logo, it has a meaning to me. If you check the logo, it's like a lion, right? So it actually represents something for me. That's why I tried my best to go and get that logo back. So like it's supposed to represent like the fearlessness, right? The willingness to hunt for my dreams, for my passions, to go into business, into entrepreneurship with that fearless mentality, the lion mentality. That's what the logo of Mac Corporation means.
And how old were you in grade 8?
I think I was probably 15 years old. 15 or 14 years old. I was 14, about to turn 15.
I think it's really interesting how back then you were drop shipping.
Yes,
already.
And I didn't even know that what I was doing was drop shipping.
What is drop shipping?
Drop shipping, what does it mean? It basically means like you create your own store and you supply products but the products do not belong to you, so you're like reselling products,
like retailing.
It's retailing at your own price. That's what you do. You buy products from Amazon, AliExpress, Alibaba and all these websites, and you get them and you resell them at your own price.
It's also called flipping, isn't it?
Yes. Exactly.
Interesting. And why were you flipping or drop shipping at the time at only 15 years old?
14 years
I think most 14, 15-year-olds aren't really interested in the whole idea of business.
Exactly.
Where myself included, when I was 15, I wasn't even thinking about this kind of stuff. So why were you doing that back then?
To be honest, I was just casually trying things, and I then found myself doing it because I always had this like an outcast mentality. I always felt like
what's that?
Like I always felt like an outcast in the midst of people, in my surroundings, with my friends. Like I do like football and I do like playing games and what normal boys do, but I never find like a fulfillment in doing those things. So ever since I was a little kid, I never liked those kind of environments where you just spend like it's okay to spend some time there and there, but if you like spend 4 or 5 hours just playing soccer or just playing video games or watching Netflix, I never liked that. So in my free time, I researched a lot, I read a lot, and then I just I'd go through YouTube and I'd watch videos and people talking about how they make money buying products from from China and then reselling it at their own stores. So I just said, okay, why not try it?
Okay.
So initially, back then I was already like receiving an allowance. It was like small, but enough for 3, 4, 5 months. It was enough for me to stack up a little bit of money. That was like my initial capital. And then I asked for a little bit more for my parents, obviously, because they saw that, okay, this boy has been saving money, he's been receiving allowance and saving it. They saw like a potential, so they just give it to me, because it's like it wasn't that much. I just started with so little, so they were like, okay, why not? They gave me the money. I bought all the products and then I just started selling them at school.
Okay. Man, that's inspiring, man.
It is.
That's inspiring. What is MacTech?
Okay, so before I go into MacTech, right? So I was explaining how MacCorp started as that, and now it's like an actual business, an actual it's a private limited company.
Okay.
Registered and all things in order. So what is Mac Corporation? Mac Corporation is now basically, it's like a group, right? A group, and all my other businesses fall under Mac Corporation. So Mac Corporation is like the mother business, let's say like that. And all the other things you see, Mac Tech, Mac Cleaning, Mac Charity, they're all branches.
Cleaning services.
Yes, they're all like branches of different services, different products that fall under Mac Corporation.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know you could have such a business.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought that if you had a business, you must focus on either selling a product or kinds of products or offering services. I didn't know you can have a business that has branches.
Yeah,
almost.
You can.
That's new to me. But yes. What is MacTech? Which falls under Mac
It falls
Corporation.
under Mac Corporation. So MacTech I launched it like this year, at the beginning of this year. So it started as a website design company.
Okay.
So to be honest, I really don't know how to do websites, but I've hired 2 great guys who know how to do it. So I launched the company and I got a couple of clients. After getting a couple of clients, I found a new possibility of market within the business that I was doing, which is the marketing space. And if you guys are familiar with like Iman and all these other like international, yes, Iman Ghazi and all the other international, well-known entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
They all talk about SMMA. They talk about that all the time.
Social media marketing
agency. So I decided, okay, if I offer the social media marketing service to the clients that I already have, and as everyone can see,
sorry, which clients?
The clients from MacTech.
Okay.
So
okay. The website building.
Exactly.
Business.
Yes, I saw potential there, so I offered the services. They liked the work, and I decided to actually then join 2 things under one company. So MacTech is a web design company, and it's also a digital marketing agency.
Okay.
So I started it like 4 months ago, and it's on a great path, to success. I'm still starting. I don't have like a big amount of clients yet, but I'm like slowly scaling up. So I'm off to a great start.
Okay. And what does a social media marketing agency do?
Okay, so what we basically do, we take care of the social media of our clients. So right now, you often realize that when people talk about SMMA, they talk about a specific niche. I'm not actually focusing on a specific niche right now. So any kind of clients, from restaurants to agencies, I'm welcoming them because I'm still like figuring out where is like my strong suit. So any type of clients that reaches out to me or that I go towards them when I see a potential to do business, I offer them the services of taking care of everything that has to do with their digital marketing. So from ads, from the specifically like just doing the flyers, the ads, the posters, and then doing the copywriting and posting it on the social media platforms, and then the graphic design, the all content creation, like related things that the business has to do, because the reason I actually started is because I realized, businesses cannot, like the CEO of a company cannot focus on multitasking. It needs to have like people who are specialized in every single branch of the business. So if a CEO is doing the marketing and is doing the human resources and is doing the finances, the efficiency will not be the same.
Okay.
So like this is because for people who are watching this, how do you make money? Making money is basically providing a solution to an existing problem. So this is the way I found of making money. I found a problem in the market.
Okay.
If you look around us, our country is a developing country. There are not a lot of social media marketing agencies.
Most definitely.
And my advice for people who are here, if you want to make money, all you have to do is copy a model from the UK, from the US, and the things that people there do, which is like they're saturated, so it's impossible to make money. But when you bring it here, where the competition is so low, it's easy to make money. So if you look at businesses and restaurants, they're taking care of the market for themselves, but they're not specialized in that too. They don't have the time for that. So when you give it to a specialized agency, the work gets done better. So I found a problem because personally I was doing all the marketing of my businesses at that time, at the beginning of the year.
All the activities.
Yes, and I was like, okay, damn, this is exhausting. It really is exhausting. And so I hired a graphic designer. Then after hiring a graphic designer, the people who were my clients for the web design business reached out to me, and because they saw my marketing for my personal company, and they were like, who does this for you? And that's when I saw the opportunity to actually do that for them and charge it.
Sorry, they saw the work that you did for your personal company.
Exactly.
My
personal company, and my personal, just my personal social media platforms.
Okay.
So I've upgraded them. I've scaled them up. They're more professional, and people could see that and ask me, okay, how do you do this? Do you do this by yourself, or are there people managing your social media accounts? And then I realized, oh, wait, that's actually an opportunity to make money out of it.
The gap in the market that you're referring to.
Exactly.
Okay.
And all I did was basically just watch a couple of YouTube videos, read for 2 hours for 3 or 4 days, and boom.
And that's how you educated yourself on all these things that you might have not known how to do yourself.
Yes. I personally never did a marketing course or anything like that. I just watched some videos and I copied the business models and implemented them here.
I mean, I think that goes to show how nowadays the new generations, right? We don't necessarily need to go to school to learn certain things, whether it be marketing or anything really. We can actually learn by watching or listening to people who know how to do it online.
Exactly.
And you said here that you basically explained, right, that the whole idea of entrepreneurship is first identifying the gap in the market, in the market, and filling it.
Exactly.
You explain how you identified the gap for marketing agencies, right? How businesses needed your services or asked for it. What signals did you see in the market that showed you that there was a need for website creation?
Okay, a website creation, how did this actually happen? I joined a team of individuals from First Education. I believe we're going to talk about that further on. And although I was working them in the business First Education, they showed me skills of web designing, and they've been developing websites for businesses, but they were not doing it yet in a very professional level. So I asked them, do you guys do these websites by yourselves? And they said yes. And so I just started a company, and I asked if I could they could join me and be work for me, but they're / my associates or my partners. And then I just started the marketing. I got a couple of clients, and yeah, that's how it started.
So you thought that you could add value to the market in the sense that you could actually offer a better service.
Yes, because especially in the country that we are, if you take a look at the websites of in general, from institutes and whatsoever, you'll find a lot of, like, it's really hard to even understand what's going on in those websites. It's really hard for you to find a website that is constantly working perfectly, and it's also like the design itself, it's like appealing to the viewer. So I saw their skills. I saw an opportunity in them, and I saw that we could actually make this thing work, because they deliver good services, and they've been delivering good websites to the clients.
Should all businesses have websites?
I believe that it depends. It really depends on your final goal. You know, if your goal is to upscale and like expand, a website for a business provides more credibility. So if you look at like my packages, we like my services, we tend to provide different types of websites for all different type of businesses, for small business, for like medium businesses, and for large businesses, because I can't help but emphasize the importance of website for a business because of credibility. If you go to someone and you say, I have a shop, I have a retailer, or I have a gym or whatsoever, the first thing they will do is fix the name and research it. So, and they will go to Instagram and they go to Google. If they research the page of your business and they immediately find a website, that will, you know, it will attract them, because it gives credibility. It shows a professional level, professionality. So we tend to offer like all different packages of websites, from small to like the big ones, to welcome every kind of person who just wants like a little website, just to make sure there's more credibility for them.
So the main reason is credibility.
Exactly.
Now, how important is it to have a credible business by having a website, when we live in a world where usually the first question people ask when you speak about you having a business is, what's the Instagram?
Okay. So the Instagram is it involves the part of the marketing, right? It involves the part of the marketing, but if you pay attention to you personally, when someone tells you about a business or that is a niche that you're interested in, whether it's gym or whatsoever, and you go to the Instagram page and it has a link, you most definitely click on that link for the website's business. So if you go to an Instagram page and you see like a good professional layout, and then in addition to that Instagram page has a website that has more details and provides all the information you need, the credibility increases and you'll have a trust in them. So if you have two different businesses, both have social media like pages, they're good, they both have a good layout, they promote and have good content, but if one has a website and the other does not have a website, you as a customer, you most probably pick the business that has a website. This is why I decided to start this realm, right? This business website creating for small, medium, and large businesses.
So what you're saying is, Instagram tends to have more persuasive marketing,
exactly,
whereas websites is more informative about the business.
Yes, but also like Instagram by Instagram you gain a potential customer. It does not necessarily mean that you will secure that customer.
And why is that?
Because if it, like me personally, I've received a lot of messages from people who ask about my services and it ends there. They ask about the services and it ends there, because they might, obviously if you want a product, you don't go and research it on one store. You go to 4 or 5 different accounts to see and balance which one will give you more quality. So it brings back to what I was saying. By having a website for your business, there's a greater chance that the potential customer, will turn into an actual customer, because of the credibility and the sense that it gives. Like, it gives a sense and an air of seriousness. Okay. You know, it makes the customer feel like, okay, this is an actual business that exists and delivers good services and products.
What is First Education MZ, and what is your role in it?
Okay, so First Education MC, we work in the education sector. What we do at First Education is we help students apply to universities like abroad, in all kinds of universities and from all different places. So Fresh Education helps you apply to your dream country. That's what we sell. We help you secure the dream education that you feel like you need and you deserve. Why is this a good services? Why do I believe this is a good services? I personally, like, when I finished high school, I tried applying to colleges. I tried applying to different countries, and as an international student, especially coming from Mozambique, from here, it's quite hectic. The process is quite hectic, and it's quite difficult. Like the documents, the constant, like, constantly checking your emails, and it gives you stress that I feel like this stress could be relieved if there was someone doing it for me. What actually happened was, me and all my friends were like talking about applications, university applications. It was me, Leslie, and Kenneth, and Wilson. We were talking about, like, okay, we're done with high school, what's your plans? And we were all like just venting out on how stressful the application process is. And by coincidence, like literally coincidence, I put this on God, I won't lie, the coincidence, it was too high to just say it was a coincidence. So what happened was, a couple of days, weeks later, after the conversation we had, First Education contacted me. They reached out to me because obviously they've been following me through Instagram, and they said, okay, we believe you're the right model for our business. So they contacted me, we made a meeting, and now I'm partners with First Education. My goal and my ambition is to eventually become like the head or the CEO of First Education, because over these few months I see potential in the business, and also, like, I do believe I can upscale the business. So that's basically what First Education do. What we do is we provide 4 kinds of services. It all comes down to helping students relieve from the stress of applying to universities. Over these few months, we've been receiving a lot of acceptance letters from our clients, like from all across the world. Universities in Spain, in London, in Portugal, Cyprus, India, from all different continents. Because what we do, we have contracts with agencies that work directly with the universities to make sure that the application process is seen, given special attention, and to secure that the person will get into the university. So we do provide 4 kinds of services. First is, like, obviously, for those who don't want to go overseas but want to study like in an international university, and the online method, right? You can apply to a university and study online. Secondly, the foundation year. We obviously know that there are people who don't have their AS levels or A levels yet, just have the IGCSEs or like grade 11 and want to go overseas, but obviously without AS you can't go directly into the university. So what we do is we help you apply and get a foundation year, and then straight after that foundation year you get into the university we want. And then the 2 other different services are like going directly into the university physically, but one through a scholarship, which can be like a partial scholarship or a complete scholarship. A partial scholarship is where you just the university covers like half of the costs and you cover the rest. A complete scholarship which is hard to get. Like, what happens is you come to us, we analyze your portfolio first, your CV, your notes, and whatsoever, and we see if, you know, we direct you, okay, this is what you can do with, this is what we can help you with, this is where you can get into with what you have. And so if you do present good marks, there is a high chance you can get into a scholarship. And then the 4th one is for people who don't really want a scholarship, just want to go and want to go into their dream university and who they feel like they can afford it, like places like London and whatsoever, but still don't like want to go through that stress of applying and waiting for the response. 'Cause I personally don't like that stress. I'm like currently right now waiting for responses and whatsoever, and it feels much better to have people who I can rely on, who will be in constant communication for me and take care of everything.
And most importantly, get the job done.
Exactly, get the job done, deliver the services, because you if you apply to like 4 different universities, there is no way that you won't get in at least one when there's a group of specialized people with contracts with agencies that work internationally securing the scholarship for you, or the university acceptance letter for you.
First Education MZ offers services to who? To Mozambican students, to students across the world. What is their target audience?
We don't limit ourselves right now, especially ever since I stepped in. Right now, we're receiving mostly like national students, because that's the market we've been operating for long. But my goal with First Education is to eventually scale it up to the point where like we're receiving people initially from all part of Africa, and then eventually from all over the world, and expand and have branches in South Africa, Nigeria, and Portugal, and like every different main and strong countries.
Okay. And how many students has First Education MZ sent abroad who have gotten accepted in these universities?
Okay, so there's actually 2 students going to India, I believe. One is going to India, the other is China, I believe, this Sunday. But in general, we do send about 100 students, or sometimes more, annually. So by the end of this year, I believe the numbers are going to double. Like, it's going to be more than just 100. Last year was like around 100 people, 100 young minds sent from Mozambique, and some from South Africa and Botswana and Swaziland. But yeah, around 100 students sent to just into their dream universities, and I plan to scale that number more as the years go by.
What exactly is your role at First Education MZ?
So as I said, right now I'm like I think we can say I started as just the marketing director, and then because like with my marketing, so many people like the business got more attention. Right now I'm submitting a proposal to become the actual CEO of the business. Yeah.
So sorry, you said marketing director.
Yes, I'm the marketing director.
So they hired you, correct?
Yes, exactly.
So they hired you and not MacTech.
Not MacTech specifically. They hired me as like Alan.
Okay, so essentially you present similar ideas and proposals than MacTech.
Yes.
At First Education MZ, as far as marketing goes.
Yes.
Okay. So I thought when you said they saw your Instagram and they saw the page, right? I thought they hired you as an ambassador, not as an actual.
They did empower me as an ambassador slash the person who's also going to take care of the marketing of the firm. But with the upscaling of the business, with like within 1 month of me taking care of everything, they plan to like put me in a management position and become the CEO.
And why did you accept the offer as an ambassador? What was your gain by accepting that?
Okay, to be honest, I did see a potential, because as I said before, this is how you make money. You identify a gap in the market, you identify a problem, and you provide a solution to that problem. That's how you make money. So I saw a potential gap that I can satisfy through my business, in this case, through First Education. So I did see, okay, personally, I would love for people to take care of my applications for me, because right there at that point, it was stressing me. So I gave it a shot, and I realized, okay, there's actually a potential to grow in this market.
Okay. So wait, how were you solving the gap personally when you joined First Education? Was it your marketing ideas or?
Yeah, so we can say it was my marketing ideas, and just I think and through this, like as I said, I am personally growing my marketing, like putting my businesses aside. It's very important to differentiate your business and you as like the person. Iman Gadzi is Iman Gadzi, and all these other people are themselves, and then there is their businesses. So sometimes people won't look at your business, but they look at you. They go through your social media pages and like they look for who is Alan. So I think that's how I helped them. That's what attracted them and so many other brands that have been reaching out to me to become the ambassador and whatsoever. It's like, who is Alan, like beyond the services that he provides, like the identity of Alan. That's what attracted them, and that's what made them feel like I'm the perfect fit for the job.
Okay. You mentioned having an interest in separating your own self with your businesses.
Exactly.
Is that one of the reasons you set up your Mac Tech as a private limited company and not a sole trader?
Exactly. Yes, because I do believe that, you know, I can't put my
Sorry. Private limited company or a limited company?
It is a private limited company.
Limited
Mac
company.
Corporation.
Okay.
You know,
Mac Corporation,
yes,
not Mac Tech.
it's a marketing.
Okay.
It's a private limited.
So
company.
you can sell your shares to the people that are around you.
Yeah, I do. I can. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay, interesting. Some months ago, I saw this post. It said, I think a Wilson birthday bash, right?
Mm-hmm.
By Insanity Production.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Insanity Prod.
Yes, it's Insanity Production. It's just
production.
short.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. What is Insanity Production?
So Insanity Production. First of all, shout out to Wilson Campini. He's the CEO of Insanity Production. So we're an event promoter. So how did Insanity Production start? Basically, my friend Wilson, the CEO, wanted to make a
shout out to him. Shout out to
Wilson. So he wanted last year around August, October, sometime in between that, his birthday was coming up and he just wanted to make something big, you know. So he just made the name Insanity Production, and then he threw a party. He made it legal first, you know. It's an actual like legal signed business, you know. Insanity Production.
Wait, so it's a
registered event promoter.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, event promoter or event planner business?
Event promoter / planner.
Okay.
Both services.
Okay.
So we make
a business.
Yes, it's a business.
Entity.
Yes. So he did it on his own, his first party, and it was quite successful. So this year, and then he just decided to scale it up, and that's where I came in along with two other associates, Kenneth and Leslie. So we brainstormed, okay, how can we make this bigger? And that's when we designed and we planned Endless Summer, which was it was the second party for Insanity, but it was like my first party as part of the Insanity. So it did go well. We did the marketing strategies. It all went well. We succeeded, and we're actually planning. Insanity Production is planning the next party next month. It's May, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's May, in a few days. So just stay tuned for more details about the party. Last party was awesome. This one is going to be like 10 times greater. So
talk about it.
We'll be waiting for everyone to come and have a good time with us. Insanity Production is planning something amazing for you guys, and you would not like to miss this.
Okay, so you're an associate of Insanity Production.
Exactly.
What is an associate?
It's like let's put it like this. So it's a partnership.
Okay.
It is a partnership. So it's him and me and Leslie and Kenneth.
Are you one of the owners now?
Yes, basically we can consider that. So it's four of us.
All right.
We're the directive board.
And why did the idea of planning events interest you? Because clearly
it's a little bit
Insanity,
out of what I do.
It's very different.
Okay.
You know? So what about it particularly interested you?
To be honest, I'll be like very real. I don't really, it wasn't something I'd personally invest in or do by myself, but I did see a sparkle in my friend's idea, you know, in Wilson's idea. I did see his will to do it, his ambition in growing into it. He presented a good plan, and as a friend I did feel in the position to help him scale up and help him do this, and we did some profits. So we're going to continue with it. It's not something that I have an interest in, but because a friend came to me with a good idea and I loved him, he presented it well. He presented it to me well. He showed love in it. He showed the determination. So I said, why not? Let's do it.
Right. Okay, so it was more of like supporting your friend more than anything.
Yes, but now it's like I'm into it. It's ours now.
Okay. And all right. How do you divide the roles in the business? The job. What's your do you play a marketing role as well?
And Insanity in
In
particular.
Insanity production, yeah.
It really depends on the kind of event we're launching, but in general I do focus more. My focus is usually on delivering a good marketing to the people.
Okay.
So we can consider now me I consider myself now like a marketing specialist, and it's
Okay.
crazy because I didn't even do marketing as major or anything. I just started researching on it and I'm growing into it.
Why do you consider yourself a marketing specialist?
I mean, I do have a digital marketing agency, and people have been contacting me specifically for that part, to help them grow their marketing or to use me as a tool to grow their marketing business. So, and I'm also like researching more, and every day dedicating at least 1 or 2 hours of my day into learning more about marketing and the right practices. And yeah, I am a specialist, I can say that.
Okay, so probably because you've seen results as well of
Exactly.
the ideas that you've been implementing.
Exactly.
Therefore, you.
Yes, I've been delivering a good service, so yes.
Okay, how many just to go back to MacTech for a second, how many clients do you have at the moment?
So at the moment,
Speaking of marketing, right?
okay, in the digital marketing agency, I have, I believe five like consistent contract signed clients,
Okay.
but I plan to like by the end of this year upscale that number to like 3 times more.
Okay.
Mhm.
You're also involved in charity work.
Exactly. Yes.
That to me, I mean, it's no surprise after talking to you for a little bit now.
Mhm.
You mentioned wanting to help your friend, so that really shows that there's this side of
Mhm.
you that wants to see others do well, right?
Mhm, yes.
Why did you start Mac Charity?
So I do, for those who have been following me on social media for a while, you will realize that I have the slogan, right, that my purpose in this life is to aspire so I can inspire others. So everything I do, to be honest, it all comes down to helping others. The reason I'm actually so into business and marketing is because I feel like the only way I can actually help people and like have a bigger impact in the world is through obviously, to have a good impact you need to have money, power, and influence. And that's why I tend to like grow in all this aspects, become more influential, have more money, and have just more power, a freedom that empowers you with the ability to change lives and to just change not of only the people around you but all over the world. So the best way I found to fulfill this purpose is to start Mac Charity, which is an organization dedicated to helping the unprivileged communities, initially all around Mozambique, but hopefully over the next years I scale it up. And to be honest, I do believe like this is something that it's in the heart of most entrepreneurs. Even if you look at this big major entrepreneurs all around the world, the YouTubers from Mr. Beast to Iman Gatti and all over the world, they do have a passion for philanthropy, because it gets to a certain point where it's like you've done so much for yourself that God blesses you so much that all you want to do is also share that blessing with the people around you. So that's why I took the initiative of starting Mac Charity, because I've been doing this charity work just like as a singular individual for a while, over the past months or a couple of years. So I said, why not make it official and make it bigger and become consistent in it and make God proud.
Is it a non-profit?
Yes, it's a non-profitable organization.
How does a non-profit organization work? I mean, you have a team, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You have a Mac Charity has a team.
Yes.
And how do you I'm not very informed on how non-profits work. How do you run a business without having, I mean, a business clearly has expenses.
Yes.
So how do you run a non-profit?
At this particular moment, it's not something that has scaled to the point of having expenses yet. You know, it's really just we survive from donations, and we right now it's not something consistent, unfortunately, not yet. What we do is just we pick a date, or some people reach out to me and give us a community that needs our help. We gather all the help we need in terms of donations, monetary, or whatever it is that that community needs. We share on our platforms, and we receive donations from all across the country, and then we distribute it. So honestly speaking, I don't really have a team, a specific team that like is always working with me. I say everyone who feels like joining me whenever there is something happening, a donation that is about to help to happen, I obviously share it in advance. Everyone who is willing to join can just join me. So right now our next event, which is a collaboration with another friend, Junior Bila, who also has his own like organization, has been working for like almost 3 years, because just 3-4 years. It started in 2019.
Is it a charity organization?
Yes, he's it's called Associação Mão Solidária. He has more experience into it. And how did we meet? We met in, you remember like the Chèche de Boane, you know, the floods from Boane. I went there, and by coincidence he also went there at the same date to make the donation. We met, we talked, and realized, okay, this is someone who I can learn with and grow with. So we obviously exchanged numbers, and now we're doing this event, this initiative together, which is to help 300 families from Namahasha in the next 2 weeks, 13th of May of 2023. Yes.
So when you've already made it public.
Yes.
People are already donating, I'm guessing.
Yes.
And when are you going to Namahasha to give these 300 families the donations?
The goal is to go on the second, I think it's the second or third weekend of May, which is like the 13th of May. So we have about 2 weeks, I guess, to gather more donations. And the goal is to help 300 families. That's the number they gave us as the community. Like, that's the number they have of people who need our help. So that's our ultimate goal, to help 300 families just with like cesta básica.
Okay, so there's someone at Namahasha who's organizing.
Yes.
Not really. I mean, not someone, but
it's like a group that acolhe as pessoas, né? There's a group of people, unprivileged people, who are there in this space, and so they contacted Junior, and Junior remembered that I've been doing that work, so we decided to join forces to help these people.
So there's Mac Cleaning Services. I saw the Instagram page. It's an empty page, with no posts at the moment, as of today, as of right now. Is there a reason for that?
Yes, Mac Cleaning Services, I believe it's the next business that I'm going to launch very soon. I'm still working on it, so I won't go into many details about it, but it's basically what it says. It's a cleaning company, from cleaning homes, offices, gardening, swimming pools. So over the next months I plan into working into it, launching it, and make it something big and nationally big.
No, go ahead, you were saying something?
Yeah, nationally big. So right now I haven't launched it yet, but I just sometimes I have this like this, when I work into something, I find it sometimes hard to just keep it like hidden for a very long time. So I just decided to create the page to also remind me that you have something to do, so work on it.
Now no, you said you don't. It's still something you're working on, right?
Yes. And
we definitely respect that. We definitely do not want to disclose anything that's not out there already.
Yes.
But can you speak a little bit about the reason for why you're opening a
cleaning services company? There's no.
Sorry to cut you off, but does it have anything to do with filling the gap in the market?
Exactly. So it all comes down to what I said before, of like what business is, what making money is, which is identifying a market, or a gap in the market that needs to be filled. In other words, identifying a problem and thinking about how you can provide the solution to that problem. And usually a market that isn't too saturated, and there isn't a lot of competition. So that's one of the markets I found like I can operate in.
What are some signals that you saw in the market that showed that there was a gap in it?
Because I did realize that there are a lot of companies and businesses that are scaling and growing, and their staff members can't really handle all the cleaning.
Okay.
All the cleaning, and they usually contract external cleaning agencies to do that part of the cleaning. But if I look into the one that exists in the market right now, there are a couple that are like monopolies that would be like like a very like great competition, like a great competition. There are like 3 or 4 of them that are operating nationally. But apart from those 3 or 4, there aren't really like many other businesses or like cleaning companies that are actually very strong in providing like delivering a good service. So with a good team of people, the right equipment and knowledge and education and training, I believe I can satisfy potential clients.
I think this really shows how you're so focused on practicality.
Yes.
More than anything, because I think most people will regard a cleaning business as not fancy enough for them, or not something they're particularly interested in doing as far as passion goes. So you identifying that gap and you doing it, it shows that you're down to do anything that provides value, really. And I think it's something that I've personally heard Iman talk about. He said something along. I watch his content. I know.
Yeah.
I know a few of his videos, and he said something like, "Yo, the most successful people in the world, the most successful businessmen aren't." And I don't know to what extent this is true, but he said the most successful people in the world aren't people with the pretty luxurious businesses. They're usually people who identify a gap in the market, like we've been saying throughout the whole conversation now, and just add value to it, make their contributions.
Yes. So I think that like this is where like people get it wrong sometimes. Like people have this thing of, they listen to people who say just go for what you love, just do what you love, do what you're passionate for. And certainly that's like the whole point of life, doing what you love. But at some points, before you get to do what you love, you're going to have to do even what you don't love, or what you don't like, or what you don't find passion for, so that you have the foundation and the means to then eventually follow your dreams. It's like you can't just wake up and decide to just become okay, let's say for example you want to become an artist, a rapper. It's not easy if you don't have the means for it, if you don't have the right people, the connections, the capital to invest in the videos, to invest in the quality. You won't really necessarily just wake up and do it. So at some point, for you to get to where you want in life, you have to do things that are not really, not to impress others, or not because you love them, but just because you have a specific goal. And for you to get there, you need to realize that we won't be placed in very comfortable positions all the time, or you won't always be doing what you love. But because you have a clear vision of yourself, and you realize, okay, this is the only way to get there, it's by doing this, then you will be forced to just do what you have to do in order to get there.
We live in a country where one of the reasons young aspiring entrepreneurs don't start businesses or run them is because they don't have the capital. They don't have the finance. How do you do it at such a young age?
So where we also fail when it comes to like starting a business, we usually want to start big, right? We want to start like with great things, because I can't do small things, I can't do small businesses. I want to be successful, so I need to go for the bigger picture. That's what people think. And if we go back to like the start of the podcast, as I said, my first business I started when I was 14 years old, 15 years old, and the profits at that time from singular sales did not really seem like much. It was almost nothing.
Can you, if you don't mind me asking, can you give example of the figures? Like, let's say a sale, for example. How much would that be? Like, okay, what were you selling? Let's start with the product. Would you sell?
I'd sell like watches,
Okay.
accessories, like quite cheap watches from AliExpress and whatsoever.
Okay.
So I'd buy them like each for like maybe $5, $10, $15, and then sell it for like $40.
And that's how much in Medicash?
I'm not sure.
5 times 6. So let's just say the $1.60, right?
Mhm.
5 times 6 is 30. So 300 Medicash.
Yeah, I'd buy them for like 300 meticais, né?
Mhm.
And then I'd probably sell them around 1.500, 2.000 meticais.
Damn, that's a.
It is a
That's-
lot, but it's not like I wouldn't like make like 20 sales a month. I'd like make one sale there for my friend and then another sale there for
Okay.
my friend. But I always like saved the money somewhere because I knew that okay, eventually I will need this money to start something.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's like the this is what you have to do if you want to start a business. Just start with what you have.
Okay.
You know, there are some like people are so focused on the bigger picture that they forget that the small steps to get there.
Okay.
To start actually making money, you don't need to start big. You can just learn how to write, become a copywriter, and make money out of it. I've personally hired a copywriter. She does not really do much. She just does the text for me, you know. And I'm not really paying her that much, obviously, as a copywriter, but if she stacks up the money, eventually she will have a capital to start a different business, to go into a different route. So, and right now we live in an era where, you know, where making money has never been so easy. You can watch a couple of YouTube videos, pick a niche, you know, pick a skill, develop it, and then just start charging for it. It's as simple as that.
So you acquired the finance to start your businesses by drop
Dropshipping, we can say that. Yes.
shipping at first.
Yes.
So essentially selling and resell. I mean,
Yes.
buying and
And
reselling.
reselling. Yes. That's how
Okay.
I started. And then if you pay attention to like the companies I have right now, they don't really, to start itself, they don't require a lot, like a huge amounts of capital yet, you know. But it's like eventually with the amount that I will gain from the digital marketing agency, the website design, it's then the same capital that I will use to then invest in something bigger.
Okay.
And therefore consistently continuing this process, I'll end up, you know, I have like a lot of plans for Mac Corporation. There are like so many plans just written down, drawn down, that, you know, for lack of capital I can't start them yet. But you know, I started small, I'm still small, and eventually I will scale up and be able to go into the other markets, you know, real estate, whatsoever, the big fish, the
Okay.
big sharks.
Right. Let's talk about your presidential ambitions.
Right. So how did this start? Right. When I did finish my high school, right, in South Africa, right. I went to Crawford North Coast, which is an international college in South Africa.
sorry to cut you off, but I believe you guys had prom yesterday or something.
Yeah, Crawford. Yeah. So shout out to the class of 2023. You guys
Okay.
had prom.
Oh, you were done. You're already done.
I'm done with school.
Oh, I thought you were at school this year.
No.
Okay.
I finished like high school last
Okay.
year.
That's why I was confused, man, because I know some people there. I mean, I know one person.
Tennis.
And like, yeah, exactly. How do you know her?
Because you know, last year she was in grade 11 and I was in
Okay.
grade 12. So now
Okay.
she's like,
No, how do you know I know her?
because that's the only Mozambique I can think of that's there.
Okay. Shout out to Lanisa, by the way. Yeah. She told me she was promming yesterday, and I thought you were there because I know we've spoken about it. She's like, yo, do you know Alan? I'm like, yeah. Do you know Leslie? Yeah. So I thought you were in her grade as well, but and I
Nah.
was confused. How are we shooting a podcast tomorrow? And
Nah.
is he like not gonna be or something? So actually, you're done with school, and that was it.
Yes, yeah. I'm done with school and I'm starting like uni eventually.
Yeah, but you were saying you were talking about how you're
So I decided to switch countries like in grade 11, mid grade 11, and I went to South Africa just to. It was like around post pandemic, right? Things were so messed up and like I was so lost, and I felt like I needed a fresh start. And so I took this initiative. I went to Crawford North Coast College, which is all the way in Durban. Like, it's really far from like Joburg and Cape Town, far from all the stress. It's a more peaceful place and more calm. So I went there to get a fresh start and just find myself, find who I was, because I was just so lost. This is actually where the actual self-improvement work started. It was there, like when I just got out of my comfort zone, because right there nobody knew who Alan was. I had to rebuild myself and like find my identity again. Like, it's like, okay, I'm getting the chance to rewrite my story again, because I'm in a different country, in a new school. People don't know me. I can be who I want to be. So in that process, I did find, first of all, this passion of helping people, of inspiring people. And then, because I was from a different country, and obviously there's also the sort of political connection, with my dad and whatsoever. So from there, with the work that I was doing, I was also performing like extremely well academically, balancing my life, like in balancing all aspects of my life, and just being like the superstar of the school. The nickname.
Wait, you said superstar?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why were you a superstar at school?
I do admit I did get the fame. I did get,
the popularity.
The popularity. I was like, oh, it's Alan.
Why though? Because what were you known for?
First, I lived like as I said, I did manage to balance my life to the point where it was like, how does it do it? Because I did perform, I did excel academically. I delivered good grades, and everybody knew that, and all the teachers would talk like extremely good about me. I did put in a good work ethic, submit all the works, and got my A's and whatsoever. At the same time, I was still like the popular kid. I go out to good places and nice places, and get the most popular girl in school, and, the prettiest girl in school, and still just live a good social life, but also with school, and also do my extracurricular activities, to the point where it's like, how do you do all this? Like, you're just one. And then from there, it searched the nickname or whatsoever, Mr. President. Okay. Because it then sticked, because of my charisma, just the way I just presented myself gave that
aura.
That aura. Like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. He has like a purpose in life. It looks like he's going back to his country, and he's going to dominate there and eventually become the president. Make an impact. So the teacher started calling me this, the classmates,
Mr. President.
Yes, and it sticked, and it just got into me so much that I was like, you know what? Why not? Yeah. Why not just actually chase this dream? I came here to find myself, to find a purpose, and this is the feedback that God gave it to me. So why not chase this vision? Because I also do feel like the purpose in life is to become the best version of yourself. So why do I portray to the world this image of, okay, I'll be the president one day? It's because it's not really about actually becoming the president one day. I might not become the president ever, but the purpose in life is to always aim like the highest version of yourself. So the highest picture I can give to myself, at least right now, is the presidency. Because even if I don't get there, I'm not aiming for low. So I know that no matter what happens, I gave my all into this craft. I gave my all, and every day I dedicated myself towards becoming the best version of myself, achieve my goals, achieve my ambitions. And if God's wanted, I'll get there. If I don't get there, it's because that's not what God wants. It does not change the fact that every day I work towards becoming the best version of myself.
Not to mention, even if you don't become a president, everything that you'll be doing over the years,
the impact is still going to be massive.
In an attempt to become the president, is still worthy.
Yes,
of chasing the dream.
Yes,
but so it appears to me like you have these presidential aspirations because of the impact that you want to make.
Yes, it's really because of the impact I just want to make in this world. I don't want to get to my 50s and 60s and just feel like I didn't live up to my purpose. So that's why I always find myself in the positions of, in whatever I do.
Say that again for the people in the back.
I never want to go back to my I never want to get to my 50s and 60s and feel like I didn't achieve my purpose. I didn't perform as much as I should have. So in everything I do, whether it's relationships, whether it's school, whether it's every aspect and every endeavor I involve myself with, I aim at my highest version. I give my 100%. I put my all into it, because you can always go back to where you were. If you fail, you can go back to like the person you were or the place you were before. But one thing you can't get back is time and regret. Living with regret it hurts.
Yeah.
You can never go back and
it's poison.
Yes, you can never go back and make the same decision. But if you make a decision and you fail, you can always go back to the situation you were. But you can make back the time you lost because you didn't make a decision.
What impact do you want to make as a president?
Okay, the impact in general, like as Alan, I just want to change lives. And it's amazing because at such a young age I already feel that happening. I get messages and my DMs and my inbox and even calls from literally all age groups, especially now like that I've been on TV and whatsoever. There was like 2 days ago this granny, right? I don't know who she is. She called me like, my grandson, you're doing such a good job, just keep going, I'll help you with whatever you need, just keep going. And the sense of fulfilling your duty in the world that I get from it is amazing.
Indescribable.
I can't describe, I don't have the words to just say how grateful I feel from making a good impact in the world. That's what I live for. And whatever I do, I need to be helping people and changing lives.
Interesting, man. Now, your father is a politician. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, yeah.
Did he, to what extent did he inspire this version of you, of having a dream of eventually becoming a politician, specifically becoming a president?
Okay, so for those who talk to me, I tend to always say this: I'm literally just a new, updated version of my father. And for those who know him, they see him in me. So I do feel like my father went from A to this point, from A to B, and it's up to me to take it to C. It's up to me to upscale the work he has done so far and make it bigger. I feel like as sons and daughters, we all have a sense of we have to keep on developing and building the empire that our parents are building for us, the legacy they're building for us. They've built the foundation of it. That's already a lot. We have to be grateful for that. So regardless of the circumstances we are, whether it's a small foundation or a big foundation, we all have that duty to upscale the foundation and go higher with what our parents give to us. We can't be ungrateful to the point where it's just like this has nothing to do with me. As a man and woman, you have the duty to keep your bloodline rising, and just in general, upscale your bloodline, work towards have your family having a name, becoming just greater.
Okay. Does he have a doctor's degree in law?
Yes.
I saw something like that.
Yes.
Do you also go ahead?
My dad, one of my inspirations is my dad. Why? Because he's his mind is just brilliant. I believe him to be one of the smartest people in this country. He's still studying. He's literally still studying since let's say 1978, 79, where he was in grade 1 up to today, which is 2023. He's still in studying in school. He has done his PhDs, his masters, and he keeps on just upscaling his curriculum, and it's incredible because I know he's not doing it just for himself. He's also doing for the single purpose of having the knowledge to have a greater impact and perform better, delivering his role with what he does.
Okay. Do you also plan on following law?
No, not really.
What do
Not
you
really.
What do you plan on? Do you plan on going to university? Because
Yes.
you have business at the moment. I'm sure they take a lot of your time. I'm sure they're very demanding. Do you plan on doing university? And if so, which course are you planning to do?
Okay, so let's go to that topic in particular, school and university. As you guys know, at least this generation, you don't necessarily need school, but you don't have to go to school to become someone in life. I think you have different examples of different kinds of people in different realms of life and career paths that they didn't really go to school, but they still succeed. So I'm not saying don't go to school. What I'm saying is, before you commit yourself towards going into university and starting a career path, like, find yourself first and figure out who you are. Because you can't go for 4 years and 3 years and tell me you're going to dedicate your life into something when your heart is not there. Don't let society force you into doing things just because they say you have to go to school, get a job, work a 9 to 5, and then just retire, and that's it. That's not what life is about. Escape that mindset. Just because what am I doing right now? I did finish high school. I don't have a problem with school. I like school. I like learning. I've always been a great student, but I did decide to take a gap year. So right now I'm on a gap year, and probably by the end of this year, like around October, September, I'm going to university.
Would you say you're privileged to have the opportunity to have a gap year?
Yes.
When a lot of people don't really first don't have a choice.
Yes.
Second, might not be the smartest thing to do. Because of their or whatever life conditions.
Yes. And it was actually a tough conversation with my parents, when I told them, I want to like focus on myself and my business for now before I go into that cycle of, it's an emotional, like, that school does emotionally drain you. I'm not saying it's torture, but it does drain you. So because I didn't feel ready yet to go back into that, because I performed so, like, as I said before, when I do something, I like to do it properly. I do it good, I do it great, I put my 100%, and it's exhausting because I do so many things at the same time. So I just decided to take a break, find myself first, focus on myself, just developing new skills outside from just school itself. Because you get out of university and you go into middle school, and then you go into university, and you still, after 12, 15, 16 years of your life, you still really don't know who you are yet. You still don't know what your purpose is. You still don't know what you want to do. I feel like that's so pointless. You spend your whole life learning things, being taught things, and you end up just in the same place where you are.
But don't you think that accounts to being a young person? Because even if you have the best education, if you're 17, 18, 19, you're finished with school, I think it's normal for you to still not know who you are after having had the best education in the world, because you're such a young person, and you have so much time ahead of you to discover, to find yourself.
Yes, I blame the educational system. I blame the way that the educational system is structured, not only in our country, it just in general. If there are people in the US and the UK complaining about the educational system, imagine us back here in a developing country. Because teachers have forgotten the whole point about school. School isn't supposed to drain you. School is the place where you're supposed to go and find your passions, find what you're passionate about, which is what I did, despite the chaotic scenario of finishing grade 12 and doing the exams. I did always find some time for me to breathe, to be in my comfort zone and find myself, which isn't something I should take the initiative to do by myself. It's something that the school itself should help you with. but we don't get that anymore from teachers. So you feel me? So if you're not someone who takes the initiative to take a step back and find yourself, then you never will, because you can't wait for a time for God to come down and say, this is you, this is your identity, this is your purpose in life. You have to take that step for yourself. So I do think that the education system needs a lot of restructuring. People should reconsider the way they evaluate students, the pressure they put on us, because yes, they are preparing us to the real world, but that's not how the real world works anymore. It's not do this, do that. Life is not linear. Life has many paths and many ways you can go towards. And what school teaches us is, there's right and wrong. There's black and white, but there's shades of gray in between black and white. There is no yes or no. You can make your own path.
Let me challenge your ideas by playing devil's advocate.
Yes.
I think pressure bursts pipes, but it also makes diamonds. So handling the pressure
from school, yes,
is supposed to build you into the person that you're supposed to be. So isn't that advantageous more than anything?
Okay, you're right, but Albert Einstein once said this: if you judge a fish by his ability to climb a tree, he will live his whole life thinking he's stupid. So this is where we fail, where the school system fails. It uses one general pattern or one general sequence to judge and evaluate 20 different people, 50 different people grouped in one classroom. My dreams, my way of learning are different from yours, are different from every one of my classmates. We can't all 20 students can't sit in a classroom, listen to one teacher speaking the same thing consistently and teaching through one method, and you can expect 20 different students with different minds, different passions, different way of thinking to get it at once and then just give them an exam and say do it. That's not how life works. Yes, it's important to have that pressure. You learn more from school, you get the skills, and you learn to get into the real world with the pressure and dealing with problems and problem solving skills, but the school system should realize that not everyone learns the same way. You can't, education shouldn't be something that is this or this. It's supposed to be broad and accessible and different to everyone. We learn and grow through different methods.
But I think it's impossible to have I think it's more practical to have a way of teaching most people rather than customizing the teaching methods for every single individual, because how many people are we on this planet? What, 8 billion now?
8 billion.
So how can you customize education for 8 billion people?
All right. So I'm not like a specialist in education or anything. I do, however, plan to one day have my own schools and whatsoever and teach in my own ways. There are various examples of people like Elon Musk, I think, that are starting their own schools and teaching in their own ways. What I think should happen inside classroom is the teacher should have a relationship with the students in such way that the students feel like when they don't understand something, they can communicate with the teacher. Because what we're living it right now is as if school is like a workplace where you go, you listen to, you get the job, you go home, you do it, you come back, you show your results. But that's not the way it has to be done. Yes, at some point the teacher must be autocratic and give orders, but there has to be a bond between the student as a teacher. I think teaching is one of the most delicate professions of all times. You're shaping someone who's one day going to be a leader, who's one day going to inspire others. So your heart must be into it. Unfortunately, teachers just sometimes forget about that part. You need to develop a relationship to the student to the point where it's he can meet you outside and say, sorry sir, sorry ma'am, I didn't understand this, can you help me afterwards? And unfortunately in most schools we don't get that anymore. There are very few teachers that are like that, and then when the teachers are all together, they complain. They're like, why do the students like you more, the arts teacher, more than they like the science teacher, or vice versa? It's because one teacher develops a relationship with us, and the others, they just do what the book tells them to do.
What are your academic goals?
In terms of what?
In terms of the course you want to do?
Okay, so I plan into, when I go into university, do economics. There's no really it's not even that deep for me, so we're not going to waste time into it. It's just like in high school I just loved economics, and like I said, I don't put my identity in like school. I feel like I do it for the sake of like having a profession. Like, what are you? Oh, I'm in economics, I'm a doctor, I'm whatsoever. But
there's kind of a prestige about it, right?
Yes. So but I do plan to make do my bachelor's and do a majors and postgraduate and whatsoever, have PhDs and whatsoever. I will, because as I said, I do like learning. I don't have a problem with learning itself. I love learning. I love upscaling my skills and my knowledge. I do love it.
Also, to keep up the legacy.
Definitely, I gotta do that.
From your Instagram page or your social medias in general, you appear to live a luxurious lifestyle. How true is that?
Okay, so I do get this question a lot. My lifestyle, it does appear luxurious for people who don't have the opportunity, and I do understand that. But personally,
I'd say most people. I think for most people,
it does appear.
Let's make that very clear.
But this is what happens. Every chance that I get to like live life, I live it to its maximum possibility. When someone says let's go out, I do go out. When someone says let's travel, I do travel. And I do understand that fortunately I am in a position where I don't have to financially worry about that stuff a lot, because I'm still living under my parents' roof, and they are like successful, I guess. So that's a lot of leverage, and I have to admit that. I don't hide that. Unfortunately, you have people who hide it and make it seem like all credit is theirs and whatsoever. I make sure that I'm transparent and with my fans and whatsoever. So there isn't much into it. I still live under my parents' house, and they do pay for most of my traveling and whatsoever, and that's how I tend to that's how I show this side, my lifestyle side. My finances are right now more like towards stacking up enough so that I can invest further and then eventually sustain myself with what I have and become independent. But I'm not there yet, and I won't lie that to the camera.
And I respect the fact that you're transparent about that, because like you said, a lot of people would lie.
Yes.
And although a lot of people might not relate to that living experience, to those experiences, that way of living, but people will respect the fact that you're honest about it.
Yes. And I do get a lot of hate from people. I won't lie.
What's the hate about?
Because it's like
I can understand why they're hating, but
yes, it's like,
what did they say?
People they don't believe that the things I've conquered or achieved in life are from my own merit.
You're talking about the businesses?
Yeah, the businesses and like in general, and like where I am, the things, even the charity work. But I think that's quite it's foolish, because even if someone comes to you and gives you a golden opportunity, it gives you like $1 million and tells you go invest it and do whatever you want with it, it all starts with your mindset, your work ethic, your consistency, your focus. Because we've seen many stories of people who went from million to zero, like this in nighttime. So what you have to do is really just develop yourself, like develop your mindset, develop your skills, so that one day if God decides to bless you and gives you the means you need, you know how to use them and get something done out of them. Because if you don't have the skills and you don't have the knowledge, no matter what comes in your way, even if God blesses you with like a $1 million or lottery ticket, if you don't know how to invest it, how to work with it, what to do with it, that will go away like this. And then instantly.
So what you're saying is your work ethic, your knowledge, and your personal
experience,
your input into the into the opportunities that you're offered, right?
Yes.
You're saying that's more important than the opportunities itself.
Exactly. You know, it's like Steve Harvey lived in his cars for years until eventually he got a call from a comedy show. They received them, and from there things started like exhaling.
Because he was prepared, because he had done the work.
He was mentally and physically prepared. He already had the work ethic. He was already rich. He had already acquired all the things that he has now. It just, he was waiting for God to give him the opportunity. So you don't wait for things to happen. You don't wait for the door to open in your life. And it brings me like to one of like my most important values in life, or law from my studying, which is the law of attraction. Not like the law of attraction more in a scientific and spiritual way, like people talk about.
Yeah, like kind of woo.
Yeah, not that kind of stuff. Just the basic mindset of you don't wait for things to happen to act like it. I'm not going to wait for me to be rich to act rich. I'm not it's like the fake it until you make it, but you're actually working to make it. You don't wait for you. If you want a job promotion, you don't wait for you to have that promotion for you to like act as if the promotion. So what you do is you intentionally act like the person you want to become, and eventually it gets to you. Like you have, your mind is particular. I'm actually researching a lot about this, like in my free time, and writing a book about it, which one day, years from now, I will publish, which is like the power of the mind. You can actually manifest things with your mind, and I've seen it happening in my life so many times. You can actually imagine things, and when you work towards them, you see them happening, and you're like, how did this even happen? But it all starts with a change of mindset. You don't wait for you to become rich to act rich. You don't wait for you to be healthy. If you're sick, you don't wait for you to be healthy to act as if you're sick. You present yourself to the world as the person you want to be. You act as if you're already that person, and the world, God, the universe, or whatever you want to call it, just gives it to you. It just happens, but you have to prepare yourself for it.
Okay. What's the biggest challenge you're currently facing with your businesses? The one that really forces you to think, to the one you're dealing with the most at the moment?
A challenge. For to speak about a challenge, I'd say is decision making. As a CEO and just in life, I think that's something we all struggle with, making the right decision, because you can make a decision and it can bring like marvelous results, and it can be a life-changing decision to the better, but you can also sometimes make decisions and it can just put you like 100 steps backwards. So one of the challenges I'm faced with, because I won't lie, I do have experience and knowledge, but I'm still young. I'm still young, and I can't, like, I'm never 100% sure and confident about the decision I'm making. So that's a challenge. Sometimes it blocks my mind. It puts me back into a space of anxiety and stress that I don't even need that stress, but it's because I want to make the perfect decision so much. I don't want to fail so much that it triggers me. So it's quite a challenge when you have a lot on your plate and you have to you are the person who makes the decisions. It's not that easy. It's hard.
Okay. And how are you tackling that? Do you have people who help you make? Are you planning on hiring people who help you make decisions, or?
I think if I hired people to make the decisions for me, it would remove the whole point of gaining the skill set of decision making. So what I do is and it's like I don't rush anymore, you know. I used to be that person who would rush everything because he wants everything done perfectly, and I want this by this time, this by this time. Now I'm learning to take my time to evaluate the scenario and just think with my mind straight, research, relax, because I did at some point suffer a lot from like anxiety and being too stressed for when there's no reason for that. So I'm learning to calm down, have a cleared mind before I rush into a decision, and that involves everything, even like in relationships with people, with family, with friends. You need to have a clear mind before you rush into making a decision that can change your whole life completely.
Okay. How many people have you helped with Mac Charity?
It's different to say a number, but in our last event in Boani, we helped around 800 families, and then this next one we plan to help 300 families.
The one in, you said November?
No, I said in Boani, and
Sorry,
it was
Boani.
in February.
In February.
Yeah.
Was that a whole event
It was
solely organized?
March. It was where I met Junior. So this number is like a collaboration between the two of us.
Okay, it's not just Mac Charity.
Yeah, it's not just Mac Charity.
I'll also leave more information on how you guys can make the donation for the Namasha initiative that's happening in 2-3 weeks from now.
Yeah,
it's that second week of May.
So the 13th of May.
I'll leave more information about that in the description. And moving on to the next topic, what can people expect from Mac Charity in the next coming years? A very special person suggested this question. Shout out to you.
What you can expect from Mac Charity itself is to change lives, you know, have a great impact. And as I said, with any of the things I do, I don't have like just a national objective. My goal is to globalize everything. So what you can expect from Mac Charity is to collaborate first with more people who can help it grow, and you know, just keep on changing lives of millions and thousands and millions of people, and eventually like have a good impact seen and witnessed around the whole world.
How can people make their contributions to Mac Charity events?
So you can go to the Instagram account Mac Charity, and there is a number, and we have offices, and you can contact that number if you have a specific need for my community that needs to be helped, or if you just want to make a contribution, like a physical contribution, like clothes, food, drinks, and etc.
Okay. What does your daily routine look like?
My daily routine.
What time do you wake up? What time do you go to bed? What time do you hit the gym? Because we know
I will go back to the time where like my schedule was fully booked, where it was when I was still like doing school and still managing like business and whatsoever.
Okay.
My routine was, it kind of still is. It's just it's less stressful than before right now since school is out of the way. But my routine is I wake up at 5 a.m. Right, I wake up at 5 a.m. I do believe you know, there's this quote, you know, if you're going to meet God, then he's up early in the morning. So I avoid waking up early by all means. I avoid waking up late by all means. I wake up early, but at the same time you need to balance the waking up early and like the sleeping time, because you can't sleep late and then wake up early. You have to get at least like 6 hours of sleep, at least for me, and like for everyone in general. That's how it goes. But I wake up at 5 a.m. Sometimes I read, sometimes I just meditate, and then go straight into my routine. Meditation is it differs from me. Sometimes it's reading my Bible and praying. Sometimes it's just going into a space of like serenity, like, and peace of mind. But after that I go straight into, you know, brushing my teeth, taking a shower, having a nice breakfast, and by 6:30 I was ready to like go to school, you know, and I go to school until school ends.
What time would that be?
would be like around 3:30, I guess. And there would be days where I'd have extra lessons or whatsoever.
So from 6 a.m. to 3:30.
From 7:30 to 3:30.
Okay.
School.
Okay.
That was school.
About
right
what?
now, I've replaced school with my office, with my work.
So 8 hours of work.
Yes, basically
Okay.
eight
At
hours
the- in the-
of
at the
work
office.
at the office, but with breaks. And
Okay.
most of the times, I'm not really in the office because I'm in this chase of like as a business was just started. I'm in the chase for clients. So almost every day, I have about 2 to 3 meetings with different people.
Okay.
So it's not always in my office. Sometimes it's in a restaurant. Sometimes it's in their office. But it all sums up to like 6 to 8 hours of like office time during the day. And then I come back home, I rest, I eat some snacks, and by like 6 p.m. I'm up to go to the gym.
Okay.
So I'd love to like go to the gym at 4 a.m. 5 a.m. but it does not fit in my schedule
It's not
yet.
very realistic.
Yeah, so unfortunately I still have to like go like that time where it's like a little bit full, and I don't enjoy that at all. But I go to the gym around 6, I finish like around 7:30, and by 9 I'm back. I eat dinner, I spend some time just relaxing with my family and whatsoever, watching TV or whatever, just quality time with my family. Then I just go back to my room. I usually, it depends on the day, on the vibe I'm feeling. Sometimes I just read again, like my books, my self-improvement books. Sometimes I just read my Bible, I meditate. Sometimes I do a little bit of more work. But one thing that never fails is me planning planning the next day, or even the next days, or the whole week. I always make sure that before I sleep, I have a plan for the next day.
Okay. How do you balance your social life and your work? You said you're usually home at 9. You said after the gym. Do you have time to hang out with the family, eat dinner with the family, have a conversation with the family at that time?
If I'm being honest, okay, the whole point of being an entrepreneur is you don't work for money. It's like the first lesson, one of the lessons from Rich Dad Poor Dad. You don't work for money. Money works for you. So right now I don't have a social life because I'm in not much of a social life because I'm in the process of making my money work for me, in terms of like optimization and like making the business run without my presence.
And how do you do that? And how are you
Getting enough clients so that I have enough money to pay workers or to hire people to do the hard part of the job.
Eamon calls it building systems, correct?
Exactly, to the point where like a couple of months from now, this is how it will be. I won't really have to work more than 3 hours a day, like towards business wise. I won't have to work more than 3 hours a day because I've sacrificed a couple of months, days, or maybe years of going out, of going clubbing, of partying, and I sacrificed my social life so that I can have decades of freedom. So that's what I'm doing. I don't have a social life right now, I won't lie. I'm sacrificing a lot. I don't go out a lot, but eventually I will get to the point where because of my sacrifice, I will be more free. I'll have time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, and I will enjoy more the social part of life.
And how depressing is that, not having a social life?
You still have to balance and find some time to have the social life. As human beings, we all need love. We all need to be surrounded, by people. We get attached. We develop, this relationship side. We need to fit in the relationship side. So at first, I was so obsessed with work to the point where it actually led to anxiety and depression because I'd close myself to the point where I wasn't social anymore. But I did learn the hard way to still, in the midst of the troubles, in the midst of the constant chase with business and everything, find some time to take a step back and just breathe from everything. Go out with a friend, go out to the beach, or travel with a friend, or just do something that will bring life and develop, like fit into your relationship side as a human being. So it's okay, it's definitely important to be focused and be consistent and be hardworking, but you gotta find some time to take a break and live life, you know, like yeah.
I notice a bit of a contradiction, because on one hand you say, right now you don't have a social life.
Yes.
You're mostly work.
Okay, so this is how it works. Like during the week, I barely have a social life, but I do still, like towards the end of the week, from Friday to Sunday, I do have a social life. I do go out, I relax, I, you know, just go to a restaurant with a couple of friends or with a girl. You know,
Okay.
I still try to find a balance. You know, there's days where it's okay. Today I have to work, but they're chill days too.
Speaking of girls, what is it? What is your type? What is it? What is the ideal type of woman that is you would deem attractive? And do you have time for women at the moment?
I'll start with, like, what is my ideal woman? For me, and I get this question a lot. An ideal
By women?
Yes, by women. Obviously, I'm a good horse to bet on, I guess.
Okay, talk about it.
So I do get this question from women a lot, but my type, like as a man, my life is already stressful. My day-to-day life is exhausting and it's draining. So my type would be someone who would be the piece in the equation, not bring more dramas. So with that, having that in mind, I don't usually go for the Instagram models, the girls with like 300k followers and whatsoever. I usually go for the private girl who has like a private account.
By 300, you just giving
I give
like
it
a
like an example, like a 300 like k whatsoever.
But well, I don't want to put you in a situation where you're speaking negatively about certain kind of
No,
women.
it's like this. All right, I do have my type and the girls I go for. As a girl, as a woman, you don't have to force yourself to be my type. It just happens that if you're not my type, you're not, and we can't force things. I can't change you. If you're not my type, you're not, and life goes on. I will attract the woman I feel like I deserve and like I need. So when it comes to women, it's like this. I'm not saying it's bad to have Instagram and having followers. You know, I don't find that like a problem. But when you're too involved into that, you do have to admit that the girls who are too involved into that social media life do have to attract a lot of drama. And as I said, for me, my girl needs to be someone who will be the piece. So I usually
What kind of drama?
You know, like, just you go out with someone, you know, they already know that's Alan. So if they see Alan plus, you know, the Instagram famous model, it's impossible to live just a private and low-key normal life.
So you're talking about the attention. One of the unattractive
attention,
things
yes,
about these kind of women is the
too much attention.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not saying women shouldn't get attention. Just if you like attention and your like personality and you're fed by attention, then that's you.
just not for you.
It's just not what I like. I don't like, and you'll barely find myself like, you know, in a serious committed relationship with someone like that, because as I said, my life in general is stressful. I need someone who's going to be a piece
And
for
privacy.
me. I need privacy. Like, my private life should actually be private because I'm already too exposed. So as the ideal woman would be someone who's low-key, who lives a private life. She can have Instagram and have a social life and post about it, just not too much. Like, her identity and like her whole life shouldn't be there. That's not what I'd go for. And relationships in general, I say this a lot. I was raised as a gentleman, right? So for me, I do feel like in the position where I need to treat the woman right. I need to give her, like, provide for her. If I go out with you, I'll pick you up. I take you to the date. I'll pay for the bill unless you really insist in splitting it. I'll take you home after that and make sure you're treated good, you're spoiled and whatsoever. And I feel like as a man, I do have like the duty to be that person for the girl. So for all men who think about relationships, I say, if you're not yet in a position where you can satisfy these needs to women, then I wouldn't advise for you to get in a serious relationship. I'm not saying don't talk to women or don't try to, develop things with women. Do that. Obviously, you need to talk with women to, develop your social skills there and there. But a committed relationship is something serious, and it is exhausting and draining. So if you're not ready for it, especially financial ready to sustain a woman, I'm not saying you will find a woman who needs to be financially sustained by you, but just for safety reasons, you gotta be like a man who can stand on your own and satisfy the needs of your girls. If you're not there yet, then put yourself in the position of being there. Work hard so you can get there, So me personally, I'm not dating anyone yet because I feel like it would be a distraction, because I'm not yet in the position of sustaining the woman the way they deserve. So a serious relationship, no. But I'm not saying I don't talk to girl. I might be talking to someone and see where it goes. But a committed relationship is something serious, and you gotta be ready for it. And for right now, I don't think I'm ready for that.
What do you say to the guys who, to the women actually who don't want a guy, or it's not necessarily a requirement of a guy to pay for everything as you do?
Yes.
Should men not pursue those women? Should they also focus on becoming the person that can provide for everything when they can have an opportunity where they're dating someone who does not expect everything out of them?
Okay, so
is what you're advising applicable to every man?
No. First of all, as I said, we all have our types and we attract the people we want. But I'm not saying I necessarily go around sustaining women and paying their whole bills. What I'm saying is you have to be at least prepared for that in case there's a need from that. I don't even advise like going and giving your money and just spending your money on women. That's not the right thing to do. But you do have to put yourself in a position where like when it's necessary, you can do that. So but it also differs, some men, I do know friends who have the opportunity of meeting girls who actually stick around with them, who support their goals, support their vision, and are not too much that can add that piece I'm talking about in their life. Some men are lucky to find that earlier in life. So if you do find that kind of girl, then sometimes it's just impossible to stop love from happening. So pursue it if you feel like it's the right thing to do. But for those that group of men who still don't have that luck of finding the one, I'm saying don't invest your energy so much into women when you're not yet the man you're supposed to be.
What are some of the characteristics you look for in a woman that can provide you the peace you're looking for, the support you're looking for, the privacy?
Yes, as I said, someone who's low-key and is not like all around every place. There are girls where you say their name and they go like, I've seen her, I've been with her. I don't go for that girl. I'll never go for that girl who's like is in everyone's mouth, I say. And
because you enjoy your privacy.
Yes, because I feel like my life is too exposed. So if I search a relationship who is also exposed, then that will be too much for me. That will be too much. Secondly, a girl who has like we share a similar mindset, someone who is going to understand that I'm a man with a purpose, with a vision, and that is not going to stress her or be like she will not feel like when I'm doing what I love it means I'm not loving her. It's just she will need to know that okay, I need to find me as a man. I gotta balance, and I will not be like always around her and be constantly giving her what she needs. So we need to share a mindset and life, and
the understanding that you're putting your purpose first.
Yes,
I'll always put my
purpose first. And thirdly, someone who also has her own goals and ambitions and will not rely on me,
solely focus on you.
Yes, like solely not focus, solely depend on me when it comes to like life and financially, and when we eventually grow up together.
But so as far as characteristics, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. The now rest is like good personality and things that they differ from person to person.
Now for the people who maybe happy to hear these things, who may have these traits, right? Who may be wanting to shoot their shot at Alan. What are the physical characteristics that you look for in women, if you don't mind speaking on?
You're putting me in a very okay.
Listen, if you don't feel comfortable speaking about it, it's totally fine.
I'll
we may not address this at all.
It's not a secret that if you look at my latest pattern in terms of girls, I usually go for the short, light skin, curly head girl. So if you're that girl, you might have a shot. That's if at the moment I'm not already with someone. You know, if you're the short, light skin, curly head with, you know, nice caramel skin, you might have a shot with that.
So do they DM you or what? How can they get access?
They can DM you. I don't guarantee a response because, as I said, I might already have someone who fills in the gap.
But you'll not even reject it politely on the message. You just ignore the chat.
I might if I you know, if the gap is filled, it's filled. I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta respect the person you're with, right? You can't just be answering DMs when you're with somebody, right? Now, how many close friends do you have?
I'll be very honest. Right now, I don't really have a lot of friends. The friends I have, I don't even call them friends anymore. They're like family to me because they're closer to me than my own blood. So, friends, I don't have a lot of friends. But if you ask like that, I'd say I have 3 friends that are close, and that's it. I do believe that it's very important to keep a circle not only small, but have the right people around you, people who are going to grow with you, who share a mindset, who share objectives in life. Because, you know, it's like that old phrase, show me who you walk with, or show me who your friends are, and I will show you who you are in like 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So I do tend to keep this 3-4 group of friends around me, and I hope I grow with them and we become like the top versions of ourselves together.
This is the end of the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
I appreciate the invite.
What is your final message to the people?
My final message to everyone as this podcast comes to an end would be always get out of your comfort zone. The reason I've succeeded in at least all the endeavors I've partaken in right now is because in every chance I get to do something different, to get out of the comfort zone, I do it. Life is so much more than black and white, than yes or no, right or wrong. Don't be stuck in this box that society draws for yourself, in the simulation of what society tells you you're supposed to do. There gotta be some times in life where you have to say, okay, no, I'm not going to listen to my parents. I'm not going to listen to my friends. I know my heart tells me what I'm supposed to do, and I will do that. And for you to succeed, everyone who's successful in life, from entrepreneur to sports, to arts, and even politics, the key principle is to get out of your comfort zone and do things differently. Do things your own way. You will learn, you will fail, but you will get up. You'll fall 7 times, get up 8 times, and just continue doing things the way your heart and your mind tells you you're supposed to do. So stop listening to people, stop listening to these voices around you, what society says, and just get out of your comfort zone. Follow your dreams, follow your passions, do what your heart tells you you're supposed to do.
Once again, Alan, thank you for being in the podcast.
I really appreciate the invite. It was a pleasure being here.
Most definitely. If you enjoyed watching the video, the podcast episode, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you like to watch our future content. If you have any questions regarding anything that's been said on the podcast, if you have any discussion points, leave it down in the comments. We'll definitely reply to your comment. Like the video if I didn't say that. Subscribe. It's all about that action.